Breaking news: Tinubu's minister mentioned federal government's condition to negotiate Nnamdi Kanu's release. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people of freedom all over the world. Wherever you're joining us from today, you're highly welcome to this wonderful YouTube platform. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification, and we will notify you whenever we drop our spanking news. Now, let us go into the news in detail. But before we round up this news, first thing you have to note is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Minister of Works, that is Dave Umahi, has disclosed that the federal government is ready to negotiate the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB. Umahi, who is also a two-time governor of Ebonyi State, dismissed the report that the Southeast has started using Kanu's release as a condition to support President Tinubu's second-term ambition. Now, the minister expressed optimism that Kanu will be released not by pressure and political condition, but by dialogue and God's grace. This is actually a trash talk. It is actually a trash talk. We know that the federal government are the ones holding Nnamdi Kanu. All this whole thing that they are trying to do in court is just to waste time. It's just to waste time to pend the case of Nnamdi Kanu so that they can continue to keep him there. Now look at what Dave Umahi, criminal, is saying, that the only way Nnamdi Kanu can be released is by dialogue and by God's grace. So they are not even planning on using any political means to release Nnamdi Kanu. Now, the Senator Dave Umahi, Minister of Works, has also disclosed that the President Bola Tinubu-led federal government is ready to negotiate the release of the indigenous people of Biafran leader Nnamdi Kanu. The minister disclosed this while addressing journalists in Lagos on Friday night, adding that the only condition is that it should not be used as a condition to gain political support. According to the Punch, Umahi subsequently dismissed the report that suggested that the Southeast has started using the release of the estranged indigenous people of Biafran leader as a precondition to support the second-term ambition of President Tinubu in the 2027 election. They want to politicize Nnamdi Kanu. I kept on shouting this in the last video I posted, that these people are trying to politicize Nnamdi Kanu release. They want to use it as their 2027 campaign to push Kara in the southeastern part of the country so that they can gain more votes. This is their plan. Tinubu is a politician and he is a criminal. We know his pattern. Now, Dave Umahi went further to explain that the reason for Tinubu's administration position was due to the fact that the current government was not the one that put him in jail. His statement reads, "Somebody asked me about Nnamdi Kanu and I said his matter is not a condition for the Southeast to support the president. We are willing to negotiate his release, according to Dave Umahi, but no one should make it a condition because the president did not put him there." Umahi then praised Tinubu's performance in office so far, adding that he had been a listening leader and expressed the confidence that Nnamdi Kanu would eventually be released through dialogue and divine grace, not political demands and pressure. The former governor of Ebonyi also bragged that the Southeast is fully in support of Tinubu and would vote for him in the 2027 election. He dismissed the notion that the region was being marginalized under Tinubu's administration, adding that his government had done more for the region than any Nigerian in the past. Nnamdi Kanu, as we all know, had been in detention, and as we all know, he has been facing trial since 2021 when he was abducted in Kenya and rendition back to Nigeria. There were claims that he was abducted by the Interpol in Kenya, but the international police are denying having any involvement in the arrest of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. It was later reported that the Kenya police, arrested him. The leader in the southeast have called on President Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu and resolve this case through a political solution. However, Kanu's trial witnessed a new dawn after his demand for a new judge was recently granted. As we know, the case of Nnamdi Kanu has been going smoothly, and that is that on that issue. Now, in other issues and other news, Peter Obi was interviewed, on Channels TV. And as we all know, that interview has actually gone viral because he made a critical statement concerning Nnamdi Kanu still being detained in DSS custody. Now, the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has described the continuous detention of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, as unreasonable situation. It doesn't make sense. As we all know, there is no reason for him to still be in DSS custody. There was no even reason for the arrest, for the abduction in the first place. Now, Obi stressed that it was an unjustifiable action by federal government to continue to keep Kanu in custody for 4 years, especially if the allegations were based on verbal offenses. Now, our news platform reports that the indigenous people of Biafran leader had been detained since the last administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, who is undergoing a very critical health issue. In fact, the information is that if he be saying don't buy, but that is by the way. Kanu was accused by Department of State Services for inciting violence within the southeast part of Nigeria. Speaking on Sunday during an interview with Channels TV, former governor of Nnamdi State, Mr. Peter Obi, stated that Kanu's alleged use of vulgar words was not enough reason for his continued detention. He said, "For every one of them, I mean, why is he still being held? It does not make any sense to me. Some people said that because he used vulgar words and everything. I've not seen it. They said he's using vulgar words, but it doesn't bother me if I'm the president. Whether you call me a thief or an idiot, which they call me today, it doesn't bother me. My duty as a leader is for the common man to put food on the table. If there are people I can talk to, I will talk to them. Let's say tomorrow we have a bandit operating in the northeast. I'll meet with them. But that is unjust. That is just to establish a link to say enough is enough, and afterwards I'll deal with it decisively." And that is Mr. Peter Obi's case on the continuous detention of Nnamdi Kanu. These news and these headlines, were the major news that has actually been trending in Biafran land, because these are critical issue. When I mean critical issue, they are critical issues that must be addressed as quickly as possible. Now, what is the situation of Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody? This has been a question that have actually been going without being checked. And the reality is that I dropped a video on the current situation of Nnamdi Kanu in the last video I dropped, where I clarify that the lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu visited him in DSS custody and gave a brief analysis on Nnamdi Kanu's current situation. That's what it be for my mouth today on today's news. Do not forget that this is the home of news, especially matters trending and happening in Biafran territory. Make sure you share this video to as many groups, to as many platforms as possible. Thank you once again for joining us, and God bless you.